Miss Naravoli, earlier you testified about a 2019 tweet that was about President Trump, and I think it was from Miss Teagan. What was the tweet about?
Would you like me to give the direct quote?
Yeah.
Please excuse my language. This is a direct quote, but Chrissy Teigen referred to Donald Trump as a ass bitch.
Okay. Free speech. And what happened after Miss Teagan posted her tweet? What did the White House do? What did the Trump White House do?
From my understanding, the White House reached out to ask that this tweet be removed. It was my team's job. This fell underneath the policy for abusive behaviors, and we evaluated underneath our insults policy. At that time, up to 3 insults were allowed, and so it was our job to determine how many insults were included within that phrase.
So the Trump White House reached out, not an agency, but the White House reached out and requested that you remove the tweet?
From my understanding, yes.
Okay.
It's almost like they didn't plan this well. Republicans put together this panel to talk about Twitter and how it's been usurped by the federal government. It's the FBI and the CIA, the president, the vice president, and all the Democratic senators and congressmen involved. They were all in on it, except they forgot that Democrats have a chance to ask questions as well and talk about the things that we already knew. One of those being how Twitter conformed and folded to the requests and desires of one President Trump. Because of this exchange, when he was talking trash about Chrissy Teigen, as they pointed out there, John Legend's wife, he called her boring John Legend's foul-mouthed wife. And she responded with that tweet that was so colorfully read at the beginning of that there. She said, I tagged everyone but me in honor, Mr. President, that she pointed out. So as they saw some of these things happening, because Twitter then folded and made sure that was taken down from President Trump's request, Democrats pointed out just how easy this is. Let's watch.
And that they wanted it to come down because it was a derogatory statement directed towards the president.
They wanted it to come down. They made that request.
To my recollection, yes.
I thought that was an inappropriate action by a government official, let alone the White House. But it wasn't Joe Biden about his son's laptop. It was Donald Trump because he didn't like what Chrissy Teigen had to say about him. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
My.
My. It's a bit of a shame, that now that we're trying to say that Twitter had this was being under the control of all these other agencies, it looks like they were listening to a bunch of folks. I guess they didn't want to offend anyone there. There's more exchanges that happened as well. Donald Trump, let's jump down to these graphics of Donald Trump's tweets as well, because he went after 4 congresswomen saying they should go back to where they came from. We've seen this before, and I think we know which Congress folks that he was talking about, because they were suggesting ways that we could better our country. But he said, why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Just a basic bit of racism there that is peddled all around the Republican Party. But Twitter didn't only side with Donald Trump, they also changed their own policies in his favor. It went further, watch.
As part of your responsibilities, did you review this tweet?
Yes, it was my team's responsibility to review these tweets.
And what did you conclude?
My team, Ray, made the recommendation that for the first time, we find Donald Trump in violation of Twitter's policies and use the public interest interstitial.
For the first time?
Yes.
And at the time, Twitter's policy included a specific example when it came to banned abuse against immigrants, as they specifically included the phrase, go back to your country or go back to where you came from, correct?
Yes, that was specifically included in the content moderation guidance as an example.
You brought this up to the Vice President of Trust and Safety, Del Harvey, correct?
I did, yes.
And she overrode your assessment, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And something interesting happened after she overrode your assessment. A day or two later, Twitter seemed to have changed their policies, didn't they?
Yes, that trope, go back to where you came from, was removed from the content moderation guidance as an example.
So Twitter changed their own policy after the president violated it in order to potentially accommodate his tweet?
Yes.
Weird how that works. Twitter under the control of President Trump? Why did he go to Truth Social? It's pretty obvious what was going on. I wonder if the Republicans sitting here hoping to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop and his penis were still happy about this whole thing. But there's more. You know that account Libs of TikTok? It was doing devastatingly harsh things to folks based off of lies. Yeah, that was part of this too. Let's watch.
Are you aware that from August 11th to August 16th, that account posted false information about Boston Children's Hospital, claiming that they were providing hysterectomies to children.
Yes, I am aware of that and other claims from the account.
And are you aware that this lie was then circulated by other prominent far-right influencers?
Yes.
And are you aware that all these claims, which I have reiterated were false, culminated in a real-life harassment and ultimately a bomb threat to the Boston Children's Hospital?
Yes, I am aware.
And this account is still on that platform today, isn't it?
Regrettably, yes, it is.
Despite inspiring a bomb threat due to the right-wing incitement of violence against trans Americans in this country, this is a party that cannot pick on anyone their own size. And they are trying to co-opt an entire social media platform and use the power of this committee and of Congress in order to pursue a political agenda. I yield back.
That's a shame. It's almost like everything they're saying doesn't make any sense, and they're just doing this for political purposes. Again, where's the talk about inflation? Where's the talk about wasted money, about immigration, about getting food on your family's table? All these things that they said they ran on, the reasons why they barely narrowly got control of the House. None of that's being discussed. Do you guys care about Hunter Biden's laptop right now when you're trying to make ends meet? I don't think you are. Jackson, first thoughts on this? Muted. You pulled a JR.
I pulled a JR. I'm trying to be like you. But this is just a clear reflection of the fact that the entire Republican agenda is owning the libs in every platform in any way that they possibly can. So, whether they're talking about, the White House tried to cancel the information about Hunter Biden's laptop, as you pointed out, nobody really truly honestly cares about that. It's just a way, it's something to talk about with the Democrats. We're looking at all the documents that are being found, the classified documents being found in Joe Biden's properties. Well, Republicans don't care about the classified documents being found in Trump's property, so now they're focusing on this, which kind of nullifies the issue completely. Republicans are always talking about hatred towards the transgender community. I actually was talking about this the other day. 9 GOP-led states, state legislatures are putting forth to basically try to ban drag shows. And so, unfortunately, all of this owning the libs actually results into policy, like how we saw with the reversal of Roe v. Wade. Many red states putting forth retroactive policies with abortion laws. So these types of things actually do lead into real policy. But at the end of the day, it's just petty. And the voting base, they eat it up, though. It's what they want to see.